Welcome everyone. This is the In FPL show. We are back live for another edition. As always, we are joined by the two heroes of the fantasy sphere. First of all, we have Alex Doyle. How are you, Doyle?
I'm good. I'm in the Christmas mood. I was listening to some Christmas songs on Spotify before this. I've got a glass of Bailey's in front of me, and I'm good.
Love it. I had this conversation with someone last night as well. They was like, Christmas, what are you doing? As soon as November hits, I reckon that's the time. Get in the spirit. Why not? No?
Yeah, I just felt like it's there. After a hard day of work, I was like, I just want a bit of Christmas song, Christmas music, a bit of Bailey's. Ideal. How are you doing, JB?
Yeah, good. I might even do that a bit later as well. How can you not put Christmas songs on and not get in a good mood? That's the thing, you see.
Impossible. Impossible.
Exactly. All these losers who don't like it. Joshua Waldridge, the money man. Here he is. Do you like Christmas?
Yeah, I love Christmas. Of course I do.
Do you start in November?
Yeah, I mean the Birmingham Christmas market's on. I've just been reliably informed. I think it came open last weekend, so I'm going to Birmingham the next 2 weekends. So I'll go and check it out. It is the undisputed best Christmas market in the UK.
Is it similar to Winter Wonderland? Because we're all based in London. That's the only Christmas place I normally go. Is it like that at Hyde Park?
Winter Wonderland is absolutely wank. The
Compared to
German Christmas market in Birmingham is elite.
Nice. Okay, all right. Maybe we need to pay a visit then. Anyway, this is not a Christmas special. What have we got coming up today, Doyle?
So we're going to start with, again, a very, very long time on team reviews this week. A lot of time spent reviewing the All in FPL table, which long-time viewers know is a key staple of this podcast. Before we move on to the hot topic, which this week we're going to sort of look at changing form, how form's changing as we move into the winter months. We're going to each choose a team that's sort of coming into form that we think they're a great team to target moving forward, get players from, and a team that we think is fading out before we look ahead to next game week and do our team previews. So without further ado, I guess we get started on the game week review.
Which you better say is still in progress for JB's sake. I mean, we'll give him that.
Yes, it's definitely still in progress. So I'm actually quite happy with my team so far this weekend. But I haven't got that many points, but nobody's got any points. I've seen some teams with less points than me at the moment, but I've still got 4 players to play tonight. And even if they're all blank, no one else is really that well owned from these teams. So I can't see myself falling behind at all. So I've held my ground. I can only get better tonight, basically. Then I'd look at your 2 teams and I was shocked. But anyway, we'll come on to your 2 teams after. Disastrous weekend for everyone, really. The Haaland captainers were in disarray. Went off at half-time with an injury. Little tweak. It doesn't seem as bad. So far, it's only Monday and Pep's already come out and said that he may have a chance tomorrow. There's been some training pictures of him today already. So don't press the panic button on Haaland just yet. It's extremely important to wait until the deadline to see what the news is with him. But so far, it looks okay. It looks like he should be fit for next weekend. But yeah, everyone was really upset. He only got a point, obviously, because one of those weeks where there were some differential captains, or I say differential captains, a lot of people was on Salah, basically. And some other crazy people on Nunes. But in the end, didn't matter too much because we had the Luton-Liverpool 1-1 result. Salah blanked. So pretty much a captaincy foul for most people. And with that as well, there was lots of blanks, lots of misery. In my team especially, I got Matt Cash. He went off on 59 minutes, got a little shoulder injury as well. Hopefully not too troublesome either. Sounds like that's just a little issue that forced him off, but he should be fine for the next game. So that was 0 points as well. Ollie Watkins in that game as well, blank for the majority of people. That hit everyone really hard as well. But in my team, I had my 2 Newcastle boys, Trippier and Anthony Gordon. World-class goal from Anthony Gordon for his 7 points. Robbed of the bonus just outside of it because he got booked. for when one of their players should have been sent off. But anyway, that's another story. And then
They
Trippier.
apologise for that yet.
Not sure.
Coming,
But all I'll say is it was, like I said, it was a world-class goal. So I was more than happy with that. And then, yeah, Trippier done well, got his clean sheet. And apart from that, I'm waiting for tonight with my triple Spurs and Cole Palmer. So we'll see how we get on. But you two done very well.
It's a good week to have like 4 lads left going into tonight, just given everywhere else been so low scoring. At least gives you a chance to sort of to make it up right and have a good week. So.
Yeah, definitely.
We're writing your score down as 23 -5, by the way, because there's no way that goal should have stood. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's for me, because of how many things were wrong with it. It's on par with the other one. It is genuinely on par with the Liverpool one for me. I think it's absolutely absurd.
Well, for me, they tried to get 4 times. They tried to get this goal disallowed, and they still couldn't get it. So if they can't do it after 4 times, then clearly it should have been a goal. I mean,
yeah. I mean, you must have saw my diagram I drew yesterday of the ball and the line. I mean, it's like it was pretty obvious that there was a gap between the circle thing and the straight line thing. You know, it's like it's sort of all you need really to disallow a goal like this.
It's not conclusive, is it? It's not conclusive because the sphere of the ball
I can't do it on the camera.
Could have been on the line still.
I don't think.
This is like the technical thing here. So you see where this. So yeah, it probably should have stood.
It was the fact they ruled out the United goal though. That was actually like way more on the pitch than this one, and they somehow for that one decided to find an angle to rule it out.
They were conclusive for that one, yeah. I wonder if for the bar line it's different because they've got the goal line technology or something. I wonder if that affects it because was this on the it was on the sideline, right?
Yeah,
it was on the no, it's free goal kick. It was the same line.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No excuses then.
No excuses.
Just like and Doyle made a really good point on this one, by the way. We won't dwell, but we will for another 5 minutes. Doyle said the fact that the commentator was like Gary Neville was so like insistent that it was fine, that it was a goal, like as in he didn't think there was anything that wrong with it. It sort of brings this group thing into play where like everyone now thinks that that's actually just fine. Then if Gary Neville says it's fine, then it's fine. But
you can actually look 2 hands into an opponent's back and push them down, and
he went down a bit easy though. He went down a bit easy. I think he was leaning
he was very clearly offside as well. Is the other thing?
You just can't. It's just like the first rule of football is you can't have 2 hands in the back. It's like literally the first rule of football. And you're defending a throw, never put 2 hands in the back ever.
Nah, he's got to be winning that header.
He was also offside. I mean, let's be absolutely clear about it. He stood in an offside position.
Bit tricky with the angle, so
it's comical. Honestly, I think it's as bad as the Liverpool one. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, but yeah. I guess we're on to me. The thing which me and Doyle had this week, or the 2 things me and Doyle had this week, which were very good, were the Crystal Palace double clean sheet and Bruno Fernandes. Never in doubt, Bruno Fernandes. We all stood by him for the whole of the game.
No one backed that.
We all said we were gonna, stick with him and we're gonna ride him into the sunset. Season keeper. We said, yeah, and that's what we'll stick with. 11 points. What a hero. Yeah, JB, you argued he wasn't that involved before the last minute, I think, was what you said, which is probably fair. But all you have to do is stick the ball in the net, just that once. That's all you have to do. So, yeah, very good.
It's more the fact that you two lauding him as like the greatest player on the planet, the best pick in the game. Whereas if the whistle went on 90 minutes, you'd be out of your team this week probably.
It's really funny because after the final whistle, I went to like the midfielders page in FPL, like fully expecting to see him in like the top 3, like one of those. He was one of these underrated guys who's actually doing really well. And no, he's not. He's just shit. But he got the points this week.
Yeah, very good. And there's more points to come with this one as well. Just a quick one. Obviously, I made the best captain to decision of the week yet again. The guy's XG must have been about 2 again. Must have been about 2 goals worth of XG, literally.
It's just a shame he's shit, because did you see that open goal he missed? That was a shocker.
I did see it. You know, I saw it as well. You
So you
know,
can't be saying his XG is really good and it was a great choice when he's missing. You can have an XG of 50, but if you're missing 50 shit chances like that, it just
he's not been
that's
rubbish
not
last 4
positive,
or 5 weeks though. He's not actually been rubbish. That's the thing. He's played really quite well in the last few games, especially.
But
And
it's what he does though. He just misses the open goals and then scores a ridiculous wonder goal. Is he that sort of player? Like
Yeah,
he had one of the missed in the Europa League, he rebounded the keeper and missed an open goal. It's like he just does this.
But there was also the one where he hit the crossbar, which was a very good finish, by the way. He was just very unfortunate with that. He took it really nicely and it just hit the bar. Like, I mean, what more could this idiot have done? And
you know how many shots he had, Josh?
I think it was 8, was it? Or something?
9.
It's just like
9 shots, 1 key pass, 1.44 XG.
Yeah,
2 points.
And honestly, I will not have it again that someone says that Salah is a better captain than him. That is absolute garbage. Honestly, that is absolute rubbish. The guy who wasn't involved in the whole game again. I mean, he did a lovely assist. Someone missed at the back post. Can't remember who it was. We'll move on from that. But you said he was shooting, by the way, didn't you, Doyle, with that header?
Oh yeah, he's definitely shooting.
JB, Doyle thinks Salah was shooting for that one where he put it on a plate for Nunes. I'm not. It looked a bit sideways to me. It looked like he'd sort of 50 pence headed it. You know what I mean? But I don't know. If it was a pass, it was the best headed pass he's ever done. That's for sure. But
yeah, he had a 0.97 XA. So
yeah, enough complaints about my captaincy anyway. Which, by the way, I did pick the best captain. I just want to say it once more. All right.
Should have kept in Bruno, really.
Well, it's funny you should say that.
I know what's coming. I've seen the fixtures next week. Anyway, we'll get to that in the preview at the end.
Right. Doyle, you're the winner this week till after tonight's game, so you can have your limelight.
Yeah, I'm really feeling a 1-0. Actually, I think a 1-1 would be nice. Actually, a Maddison goal, no Son involvement, and yeah. Non-Palmer Chelsea goal, yes, is what we're looking for, and a non-Sterling to avoid the tilt. But 41 points so far this week with Maddison to play. Yeah, double Palace clean, literally the same as Josh Bruno. But I had Mbumo as well in the middle with 5 points. Could have been a lot more. He was very, very good in that game. Pretty unlucky to, only get the 1 assist, but we move on. Saliba should have had a clean sheet, so JB got a nice swing on me there for no reason, which, it's unfortunate. Diaby was really, really good. Very happy having him. But Villa can't hit a barn door at the moment. And yeah, then it's just pretty much the same. Haaland captain, same as many other people. But it's what it is. So
lovely bench as well.
41 points. Yeah. I was kind of hoping I was get.
Speaking of,
Simicast might not play, and then could somehow end up with like a backdoor Kabore. Could have been really, really nice, but not to be.
You never know, last minute Maddison injury tonight or something.
But he didn't train on Friday, right?
I heard something. Yeah, you never know, but I doubt it.
He'll play and get 1 point instead.
Speaking of bench, by the way, JB, did you see the exclusive that you first subs out for 3 months?
No, I haven't.
Dan Burns out for 3 months.
Is he?
Back injury, yeah.
It's got to be a bad one, isn't it?
Back or something. Literally, it's like 3 months.
That can't be good.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get to that. I've got 2 frees, and
we have to do these live exclusives. You know what I mean? So it's always good for the fans. You know.
Breaking news, yeah. Even though by the time this airs tomorrow morning, it won't quite be breaking news, but still, it's nice to see our reactions and our instant thoughts before the community get involved and tell everyone what to do.
Someone in our chat said, because it's Eddie Howe, Burton's probably playing this weekend. He's a liar. I hate him. Yeah. Anyway, on to the hot topic, I guess, if nothing more, Doyle.
Yes. Doyle, what is the hot topic?
We're looking at, with the change of the season, it's gotten a bit cold out. We're going to see how teams have also changed as the season's gone on. Teams that we sort of thought were quite hot going in that maybe aren't anymore, or vice versa. So we're each going to pick a team that we think is a good team to target, a team that's coming into form, that's trending upwards. before we also then pick a team that we think is the opposite, going out of form, one to avoid moving forward. So, who has a team coming into form that wants to go first?
Absolutely. I've got the most boring one possible, but I can't stress how important it is to have Crystal Palace defenders in your fantasy football team. They got good fixtures now as well. We've got Everton and Luton in the next two, as well as followed by West Ham and Bournemouth, which those as a pair aren't quite as good as the two that come before, but as a run of four, I think that's really good from a defensive perspective. And this team, I keep saying it, this team is just elite defensively. They just know how to keep clean sheets, and they're just really well structured, and they play to their strengths. And I think yeah. They've also got Eze back, who came back at the weekend. Now this could be a really, really good injection for them in terms of going forward as well. So if you want a bit of a punt for the next 4 weeks, could do worse, I think, with these fixtures that are about. So yeah, Crystal Palace. And I know you're an advocate of the defence as well, Doyle.
Yeah, so a tough clean this week, I'll tell you that, against the mighty Everton. Can't see them scoring there, but yeah, got a lot of Palace defenders. They're just
It doesn't matter which one you pick; they all get points. It's great. They take it in turns.
Yeah, and Eze, yeah, it's an interesting shout. I probably wouldn't go there now because there's just better picks, but.
Yeah, I think with him, it's like the time is now sort of thing if you're going to, and it is just a 4-week punt probably because there's just better options. But as in when they have bad fixtures, there's just way better options. But yeah, Luton away, they're not gonna play like they did yesterday every week, and they were good by the way. But yeah, Darwin still should have scored a couple.
Yeah, they could have had a few goals, Liverpool. That's JB, any thoughts on Palace?
Yeah, I mean, Josh has stolen my one. We obviously should have really got together and spoke about which teams we was going to select.
We'd sync. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was going to say Crystal Palace purely because of the clean sheets. Got really good fixtures coming up. Anderson's got a bit of attacking threat. Gay's good at corners. They're cheap. Well, Gay's cheap. Johnson in goals. Probably nobody's keeping clean sheets at all apart from Crystal Palace this year. I think I've had one clean sheet from my goalies that I've had so far, and I've had Pickford, Turner, Areola, and I think the bench has had a couple of clean sheets, but generally the ones with the better fixtures who I've started haven't kept any cleans. So yeah, I really like them from a clean sheet perspective. And then I was going to say Eze, I love Eze. He's back. So I think going forward, he's only 6.1 now. So it feels like a good price. It's very cheap. So yeah, I like him.
Double Palace. That's great for the content. Nice. So are you going to say Palace as well, Doyle? And we can just move on.
I have got another one. I'll tell you my one if you want. That was just me agreeing with you.
Please do. Please go on. Yeah.
So I don't want to say a good team that everyone knows about. I don't want to say free Palace. I've got Palace on the brain. I don't want to say free Tottenham because everyone's already got them players. Everyone knows they're in form. We need to give the all-in faithful the exclusives, the early doors picks. I can't believe I'm going to say this. Everton.
Oh my God.
Let's all jump on Everton.
That would have been the 20th team I said out of the 20. That would have been the last one that I thought would come out of your mouth, JB.
This is it. This is the time to move, boys. This is it. Get on Everton. All your chips are in. No, not necessarily all the players, but I do like what I've seen of Everton. They started off the season terrible, and I think gradually they're finding their feet now. I don't think they've got that many assets you can pick, but they do have 2, 3, maybe 4 at a push who you could select. And I'm not saying get them all in, but if you are a bit crazy, you could get one of them in. I think Braithwaite at the back has looked really, really good when I've seen him play. He seems to have nailed down that space next to Tarkowski. Tark's 4.4, whereas Braithwaite's only 4 million. And I think
Braithwaite.
Braithwaite, is that how you say it? Branthwaite, whatever his name is. 4 million, one of the cheapest players in the game, and we know Sean Dyche generally does organise his defence well. So I think he's a viable pick. And up front as well, Calvert-Lewin, I've seen signs of life. They've been injured for so long, he finally seems like he's getting the minutes under his belt now. And at 5.8 million, he could be a cheap enabler up front. I just think it's a really good price, 5.8, when there's not that many strikers around that area. And he's looking pretty good. He's looking confident again. So, yeah, another good pick. And then we did see at the weekend as well, Myelenko, he scored. He's only 4.3, could have a little bit of attacking threat. But yeah, mainly Branthwaite, whatever it was, Doyle, and Calvert-Lewin, I'd say. What's your opinion on them two?
Branthwaite's a good pick, yeah. 4.0, you can't really go wrong, can you? And we're so dangerous in corners, like particularly Tarko is like way more dangerous in corners, but like I wouldn't pay the extra. Calvert-Lewin's fine if you need the saving. The problem is as soon as we score, it just becomes a counter-attack operation, which isn't necessarily conducive to multiple returns in a game. I think the one you missed out is probably he's slightly too expensive because 5 million. Decore would be a really, really good pick. He's playing that sort of second striker cam role all season, but he's probably slightly too much to really consider him. But yeah, we're looking good at the moment. We'll pick up some points next week. So we were really unlucky not to win against Brighton at the weekend. The goal was absolute fluke by Brighton. He only did have 83% possession. It's one of those where it's a non-dangerous one, so it's what it is.
Who are you going for then, Doyle? Who's your team to select?
So this team, they've not been great for long. Not got a really good pass record, but Manchester City, I think, could have a good run. I am actually picking them because I don't think many people actually have triple City at all in terms of assets. Everyone's got one asset, but they look absolutely back at it. Like they're starting to really put the knife into teams again. I know there's a lot of debate about Doku and people not wanting him, and I get it with the sort of fixture pile up, but he does look a really, really strong asset. Compared to sort of any of the other attackers they have, he's the one that's sort of most direct. He looks a player, and I think that their defensive options are still really good, even though they didn't concede against Bournemouth at the weekend. I think there's worse places to go from a defensive point of view as well. So,
and quite cheap as well, Doku. You know, Count Doku 6.6.
Yeah, he's
a Man City attacker.
Yeah, and he's just warming up now. He's starting to get into the season a bit more. He's a pretty good pick. Alvarez obviously is a really good pick as well, right?
Yeah, I think so. He just seems like he's played so many minutes as well. He's not really getting rested too much. But if you had to pick one of their defenders, you did touch on it. Who would you go for? You got Ake, Akanji, Diaz, Gvardiol, Walker. Walker's probably the most secure with minutes this year, I think. But
I think it has to be Walker, just because of the minute security. And none of them really have a major attacking threat. And maybe Stones. Like, Stones seems to be pretty consistently playing now. He's back now. He's off his injury problems. I think that's probably a pretty good spot to go for. You have a bit of attacking upside then as well. So, probably Stones.
Okay, well, I went from Everton and you went for Man City.
Yeah, seems fair.
Should we go on to the teams that we think are heading in the wrong direction? So potential players that might not necessarily want to be on because the team may not be performing well, the fixtures might be turning, or just out of form in general. Who wants to go first? You want to go first again, Josh?
Yeah, absolutely. Not going to be popular with most because I think people are very stocked up on them, but Aston Villa, I would be selling the defenders 100%. They are absolutely abysmal defensively. 2 clean sheets all season. One was against Chelsea when Gusto and bloody Sanchez was playing, you know what I like it was the absolute nonsense team. And Gusto got sent off in that game, by the way, as well. So they were playing against 10 men for half that game. And then they kept one of the clean, probably against your boys, actually, Doyle, I think. They spanked you, and I think they beat you 4-0 or something. Those are the only 2 cleans they've kept all year. Couldn't even keep one against Luton last week, kicked the ball in their own net, literally, and got not dismantled by Forest yesterday, but were very suspect defensively yesterday again. Like, they played well going forward, but I think my strategy for Villa would be keep one attacker. So keep one of Diaby or Watkins. The fixtures are a little bit tough as well, which is why I'm saying I wouldn't double up, I don't think, from this point. And I'd sell or bench all the defenders, honestly. I've got Matty Cash. I'm probably going to sell him this week, I think, even if the injury's a bit like of a niggle, or it might not be a bad injury, but I think I'm going to sell him this week because I don't want to be in the position where I've got him and I'm going to end up starting him in bad fixtures just because he's got attacking threat. I'd rather just not have him, I think, to be honest.
I think I'd give it one more week. Fulham are really bad, like going forward.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one. Maybe it is one more week, but after this, Tottenham away, Bournemouth away, I don't really see them cleaning in that one even, which is a really bad indictment of how bad they are defensively, you know what I mean? And then it's City and Arsenal back to back. It's really bad for Aston Villa, fixture wise. So
they have really big home away swings as well, Villa. I think they've won was it like someone said, I think she said like 8 in a row, something at home, maybe more than that.
Yeah, they've been really good at home. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And away, it's been dreadful, to be honest.
Yeah.
So yeah. It was this was where they had the Liverpool away game where they got absolutely battered, and then it reversed, and then also weeks 1 and 2. Did they get spanked by Newcastle and then or was it the other way around? And then they battered someone in week 2. Yeah. It was just they're a weird team.
Brian 6-1. Yeah.
Yeah. Just really strange.
Would you sell any attackers, or is it just a defensive thing?
As I say, if I had a double up, I think with the fixtures that are coming forward, I would sell one of them, and it is personal choice which one you sell, because I can see why Diaby's good with the cheaper price. I can see why he would be good to keep, but yeah, I wouldn't have a double up on this team especially not when it comes to like having City and Arsenal back to back. I'm not interested in like being capped there, like goals wise. You know what I mean? They're not going to score 3 or 4 against either of those teams. So, yeah, I would just have a single attacker and be happy with that from Villa, I think. Over to you, JB, I think.
I was going to select. I know a lot of people have already jumped off them. It's quite hard to say a team that you need to get off of because most people already off them. So, but I would say Manchester United. Seems like a bit of an obvious one, but there's a reason I'm saying it, mainly because you two both own Bruno Fernandes. The club is not in a good place. The vibes are not good. They're struggling to win games. Even at the weekend, they've just stumbled over the line again. I'm not sure how long Ten Hag has got. If he loses a couple more games, people might be calling for him to go. I don't think he personally should. I think it's more the club as a whole that needs looking at, but that's a different situation. Rashford, he was benched. Apparently he had a niggle before the game, but a lot of rumours saying he was out and he shouldn't have been out, and it's another discipline issue, so who knows. Onana's looked shaky at the back. The one thing I would say is their defence has been injured all season, and I think any team will struggle with that amount of defensive injuries. But it's just the vibes around the club is just not looking good at all. Your season keeper Bruno, I haven't really seen enough from him. I think even at 8.3 million, it still feels cheap compared to previous years. But when you're looking at the likes of players like Mitoma, who's got a great fixture on for 6.6, maybe, I think he is, or 6.5, whatever. And Mbumo, 6.5, the way he's delivering and scoring. 8.3 million on Bruno, I still think is too much when you can get in cheaper players. So unless Haaland's out and we've suddenly got loads of money to spend, I think he's a bit of a luxury at the moment. I'd rather get a 6.6 in Mitoma and then get Trippier, for instance, in defence if you don't have him. Maybe use that money that way. So yeah, my team is Manchester United to avoid.
Yeah, I think like Bruno, he's not at the pens yet, right? Either he's had one pen this season.
But I
United
would
tend
say
to
that is partly due to Man United just not performing that well. They're not exactly winning 3-4-0 and all over teams at the moment. That almost contributes to it slightly as well, I'd say.
Yeah, the refs have to take a bit more responsibility as well, because normally they give them like 5 penalties a season. So like
it's hard to do it when they're not in the box, right?
we need them to step up. Yeah, as soon as one of the red players goes into the box, or sorry, the black and white players as well, it's a bit confusing this year. Maybe that's what it is as well. Needs to be the red kit, I think, because then everyone knows that's Man United. You know what I mean? So when the red players are in the box, just if they fall over, you point to the spot, right? So yeah, we need a bit more of that going on this season. I think it's been a bit lacking.
They are pretty awful. And had invested Josh during that United game, saying that I might have to sell Bruno just before he scored, obviously. They look completely defunct. Like they just got battered by Fulham, which is pretty hard to do. Because Fulham are awful. So
I want it on the record that in response, I said I am still captaining him next week. This was before any of the goals and on, so I'm not affected by that. It doesn't bother me. You play how you play. That's the thing.
I won't be captaining Bruno, but I do agree, JB. That they look pretty awful, and like Højlund, just not seen anything of him at all. To be honest with you, Anthony's a waste of space. We'll see if Rashford's back from his injury this week.
And Casemiro's form's dipped as well, and he's the shadow of last season. So, yeah, not looking good at all. Apart from McTominay, who's suddenly a world beater, who's actually playing really well and scoring. It's not just the goals. I think he's looking quite good. But yeah, apart from
he's always been quite a good player.
Pardon?
He was always harshly done by United fans. I thought McTominay.
He's a good FPL asset. I think 4.8 million at the moment. I think he's a decent asset. Yeah. He's playing so attacking. Like you get that little discount on Decore. He's playing almost a similar role at the moment. It's really, really interesting.
And Maguire as well, with Luton at home, Everton away. I think it might be time for a triple up on United, actually.
We're talking ourselves into it. I'm looking at McTominay's minutes. He's played the last couple now. He's undroppable. Right.
I guess my team to avoid. So I'm between two.
I hope you said the one I want you to say. Go on.
I was going to say Arsenal. I was going to say avoid.
I knew why he was going to say this. I felt this was coming.
Who was the other one, though?
Brighton.
Yes, that's the one I wanted you to say. I was desperate.
Yeah, I think both of them are pretty in play. Arsenal, to be fair, by Arsenal I mean Arsenal. They just don't look particularly effective going forward. Martinelli's not got the form he had last year. He's nowhere near as incisive as he was. Is Odegaard out long term? Like, what's happening with him?
Yeah.
Bizarre that one is. They're keeping it under wraps a little bit. I've got a lot of him on Fanteam, so I want to know what's going on with this guy.
Yeah, the latest update was that he still got an ongoing issue, and he was very, very coy about it. Really, so we didn't get too much information, but.
They missed him on Saturday, didn't they? Like he is the key to everything. He's the key to everything, literally.
As Doyle said about they don't look the same going forward. I think that the big aspect there is Odegaard in the middle pulling the strings. He is their Kevin De Bruyne almost. Like everything goes through him. He drives them forward. His passing's exceptional. And obviously
even before he got injured, he wasn't as effective as he was last year either. There's a lot of talk about they're struggling a lot to build up through the middle of the pitch this year. It's going out wide a lot, and they're struggling to get the ball into the middle and create chances. I think Saka obviously started the season in pretty exceptional form. That's dipping, in my opinion, when I'm watching him. He's still the same player as he was last year in the sense that he's still far too wide right to be a strong FPL asset long term, in my opinion. Obviously, he's got 66 points and made me look like an idiot, but I said the same about Stupinian, and they've still not kept a clean sheet. So, defensively, they're probably still fine. The fixtures are good. Burnley at home, Brentford away is not great, but Wolves at home after that's good. And then Luton away. So the fixtures are good, but I think from an attacking perspective, I just don't see the fluidity there. I'd want to see to be picking their players. What do you think, JB? Have you got Saka at the moment?
No. And obviously I'm leader of the Saka fan club, and my first thought when I thought Haaland could be out, bless you, was use that money to get Saka in for Cole Palmer, for instance, so I can upgrade Palmer to Saka straight away and then maybe get another striker. Dare I say Darwin Núñez. That was my initial thought. So yeah, I just like Saka. I think all round, no matter what's happening, even if Arsenal weren't in form, just the fact he's on corners, he's just such a good player. I love him. I still like him, but I do get what you say about Arsenal. Could be slightly on the turn. Plus, they've got Champions League football, so it's a lot of games that they're playing with their strongest team as well. It's not like they can rest people in the Europa League. So it's definitely one to watch. They've got Jesus again out injured. I know Nketiah's played well, but yeah, Raya hasn't convinced me in goal necessarily either. So yeah, not a bad shout. Josh?
Yeah, I agree. I've done my team. So are we on to the preview?
Yeah, we can go on to the preview. So the preview for this week's games. Who wants to go first?
I can go first. Can I go first? I can go first. So I have one free transfer this week, and I think I'm going to roll. Yeah, squad's looking pretty good, to be honest with you. I've got Anderson first bench at the moment, which is always a good sign, means he's on for a 15-point haul. So
the fixtures are good this week, aren't they?
Yeah, the fixtures are good this week. Depends on Dogi as well if he's back fit, but I think he will be by next week, surely. I'm a little bit concerned about Darwin Núñez now after that miss, that he may just go back to being bench fodder, but can't transfer him out just yet. So probably just wait there. And then captain wise is probably the trickiest thing this week. There's no sort of standout fixtures really. I'll probably, I don't know what I'll do actually. I'll see where I want to see where the ownership's going to lie. Whether it goes to Salah or Haaland, and then make a decision off the back of that. I think with the lower owned person is probably what I'll.
Or
no, there's no other options this week.
It's worth saying you've still got your wild card left as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
So roll in. So that means you're not going to be using it next week again, which means like it is going to be.
I'm definitely going to forget to use it. I'm 100% going to forget to use my wild card.
You're normally a week 3, aren't you?
I know. I don't know what's happened. It's just all sort of fallen into place. Okay, this year.
It's the most dangerous spot, I think, because someone who's a week 3 is the most likely to forget to use it, definitely, because you're not used to using it at that point of the season, so you'll just burn it. Like it's like we'll have to remind you on here or something like that.
Yeah, I've only taken one hit as well.
I think your team's looking pretty good though, Doyle, overall. I mean, looking at it on paper, you're going to roll, so that's always a good sign.
Yeah, it's just kept working out every week, sort of thing. So I did a triple. I think I did a triple swap or a double swap one week, which then set me up sort of to not have to push any buttons, any emergency buttons, and sort of Darwin being okay was a big help in that. And then because Richarlison was out, it meant that I then had to move him to DRB, who then also is a decent asset. So it's just kind of like I tried to blow my team up multiple times, but somehow managed to avoid doing so.
I think you should start Anderson, by the way. I think like Tsimikas question there over minutes again. Udogi's injured. I mean, like you have to just start Anderson over both of those. I think so. Anderson would be my second favourite out of behind Saliba. I think out of you defenders.
I'm just pretty confident we score. Like,
I wouldn't be.
I'm pretty confident that we're just going to bat them, but we'll see.
I think if I was looking at your team as well, like as a little plan going forward, just what you could potentially do. I wouldn't say necessarily, well, yeah, a little bit of weak points, I guess. I'd say Darwin and Bruno. A lot of money tied up in them two players. You could potentially maybe downgrade Darwin to DCL, bit of Calvert-Lewin action, and then you could get in Son potentially. Would that get your taste buds going? Son and DCL for Darwin and Bruno after the Luton game.
Who's Spurs fixture online?
But regardless of that,
Villa at home, City away, West Ham at home, Newcastle at home. I'm all right.
I don't think it's the greatest fixtures, but I mean, I just still think Son's just an asset that you could really use at the moment. I think
it just depends on Darwin. Like if Darwin starts every game, like I say, he's the best asset in the game. So I'm just not going to sell him. Like until he stops starting, I'm just going to keep him.
I just worry with Gakpo being back now as well.
He might stop starting. That is true. He might stop starting as of the weekend, at which point, I might have to address it. But
I think you'll be addressing it with your 2 transfers after this week because it's international break after this. So he's not going to play again.
That's against City though, right? So I don't really mind too much.
What, benching it more?
Yeah.
It's
probably Fulham after that at home. And then Sheffield away.
Yeah, they're good ones. Yeah. We're going to be keeping him forever.
Yeah,
I'm
not selling Bruno. I'm not selling Darwin, sorry. Bruno. Yeah, I think this is Bruno's last chance because he scored this week. But if they look really, really bad again, I think it might be time to go ahead. Everton away, Newcastle away, Chelsea at home, and Liverpool away one after that. That might be season keeper might have to go out for a couple of games.
I would, or downgrade him to another midfielder and then get Trippier maybe.
Yeah, though having said that, I think I'm winning the bet currently, JB, on the Bruno points between game week. What game was it?
There's a long way to go yet. Don't worry about that. I ain't even concerned about that bet. Saka's definitely going to outscore Bruno.
I have enough to do. I do have enough to do Bruno to Saka. I will not do it.
Sure. Oh, there you go. Forget about Son.
That's for sure.
Okay.
So who's next?
You go next, Jeremy.
Me? Okay. So there's a few flags on my team. So we've got Matt Cash, Burn, Haaland. Josh broke the news earlier, live to the nation or the world. Dan Burn's probably out for 3 months. Not a massive issue anyway, because I'm not sure if I was going to start him next week anyway. I was flirting with Cole Palmer in his revenge game against Man City. And then Bayer's back as well for Burnley. So if I'm desperate, I can start him just for a couple of points. But I got 2 frees anyway. So it really depended on Haaland. If Haaland was out, like I said, I was going to downgrade him and then probably have a monster upgrade on Cole Palmer to Saka or someone like that. But it could just be that I just use 1 transfer, plug a hole, and then I'm essentially rolling to get 2 next week, which I like the idea of. I always like to have 2. Unless I really need to do something, I'll always do that. That's my philosophy. So looking at it, probably my first thoughts would be Dan Burn to another defender, someone relatively cheap. Probably Mark Gay. I think they're the same price.
Palace defender, I was going to say, mate. I'd go for a Palace defender.
Yeah, so I think that is probably the move I would do. I can do that as long as I hit the price rise in time. It will probably be that.
Time to jump off Palace defense, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
this is like those stocks, where it's like these like GameStop sort of stocks when the plebs get on it, it's time to jump off.
Mass exodus. Yeah, I'm coming on board, boys. I'm coming on board.
I think we're the opposite in our transfer policy, JB. Well, as soon as I have two transfers, then they're never lasting another week. Like it's never rolling. What's the next one? It's used it straight away. Maybe to a hit. Maybe doing -8. Like
there's a kid at Christmas.
Yeah, literally get through them. Your team's pretty good though, right? Like I guess.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm happy with it. There's nothing no real players I'm desperate to get in. I wouldn't mind Saka, but like you said, the fixtures ain't unbelievable for them, and with Odegaard out, that could affect them a little bit. So it's not like that's a emergency to try and get him in. So yeah, happy to just keep it ticking over for now. Plug the gap with Burn, get him out for someone maybe, even if it's Joy, Branthwaite. Just to save some money. And I've got 2 frees, and then I've got no money in the bank, but if I do that, I'll have like 0.6 or something, so that might help me with going forward. So I'm very conservative approach this week for me, and then that's what I'll do.
I think that's a good move. And then you play 4 at the back, right? Bench Palmer.
Yeah, I've kind of got Palmer and Burn rotation at the moment, so I can have whichever one going into each week. So yeah, I'm not too fussed who I have really. Captain at the moment, put it on Salah, home to Brentford. Probably where it'll stay, I believe.
I think I'd captain Stone if I had him.
Away at Wolves, yeah. I think I'll still go Liverpool at home to Brentford. Brentford still conceded 2 this weekend as well to West Ham at home. So it's Salah, innit? I think when he's at Anfield, get a cheap penalty somewhere. Something could happen. In off his arse as always. So yeah.
That was the second blank of the season against Luton, wasn't
it? Yeah.
It's mental.
Yeah. Josh, onto your team.
On captain week, that's for sure. It's definitely. I'm looking at the teams now, and I like the Son shout. I think and Saka could still be really good. Burnley at home. It's like there's enough to go at here. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think I'd cap Saka if I had him.
You would.
Yeah.
It's a good fixture. It's the best fixture.
The fact that I just said he's crap, but it's a good fixture.
JB, I don't know if you spotted it on the screenshot that I sent you. I'm on bench boost this week.
Oh, no.
I am.
Get out of town.
I've got my bench is currently Areola with Forest at home, Pau Torres with Fulham at home, Tsimikas with Brentford at home, and Archer with Brighton away.
Wow.
So I've got 2 free transfers as well, just to show off even more, literally. So I'm going to do, and you'll like this punt, this is a fun punt. I'm going to do Archer to Nketiah to boost my bench boost even more, to boost it up to the moon, literally.
I will laugh if Archer scores again, because he did score an absolute belter this week, so he's sure to be playing next week.
Brighton are also the worst defence in the league, so I should probably keep Archer, but we're not going to do that because Burnley...
Next time we benched as well, it's going to be great.
Yeah. Burnley at home is going to be super fun. My other route, by the way, if Matty Cash isn't going to play for whatever reason, I'm going to do Cash to a 3rd Palace defender, so I can have triple Crystal Palace defence. Because I am not happy drawing with Doyle every week on this nonsense, on this Palace event. And I want to get one further ahead of you as well, JB. If you're bringing one in, I want a 3rd one, you know what I mean, to pull away. So if Cash is out, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do... I'm going to keep Archer, and I'm going to do the Palace defender triple up. It'll be Tyreek Mitchell because he's 4.5, by the way. I'm not paying 5 million for Anderson.
He scored this weekend as well.
Yeah, I saw that. Me and Doyle wanted it to be one of our defenders breaking away in the last minute.
From the wing.
And then I saw it was Mitchell. I was like, oh, it was a defender somehow, but not the right one, yeah. So, yeah. I just think all the fixtures are really good this week. It just seems like a good week to not get it out of the way, but definitely like help me later in the season by not having to build a massive bench for no reason. You know what I mean? So just going to use it. Structurally, it would be better for me if Cash is out, weirdly, so I can get the Palace defender, keep Archer as the fodder, and not have too much money as in the 8th attacker. You know what I mean? But I'll still have 2 FTs next week, so I can fix it next week if I need to as well. So. And the obvious captain, Bruno Fernandes at home to Luton. I know JB would be doing that if he had him, so it's a bit of a shame he hasn't got him. But yeah, Bruno Fernandes, Luton at home. Don't be fooled by what happened yesterday. Luton are still rubbish. They're still one of the worst 3 or 4 teams to ever be in the Premier League. So take it while you can and have some Bruno Fernandes magic. And I'm telling you, there will be a penalty this weekend. Put your house on it.
Interesting. I'll tell you what, I agree with you. If I did have Bruno, I would captain him this weekend.
Was only joking.
Yes. I thought I still Salah maybe, but it would be close. I would have to think about it because
you got to give him a go. He's involved in everything that this team will do. Like if they're going to do anything, it's going to be in his hands, literally.
He's really tilting though. Like he's like on corner. He's not. He's going to take a corner. He'll just like stand like miles away for some reason. It's like halfway land. Like, what are you doing? Get in the box. And he just they'll be on a counter attack. They'll just be walking alongside like the halfway line, like get in the box, you idiot.
I like the fact that everyone's got rid of him as well, to be honest. So it's like it's one of them low EO punts again. You just get a great when it does finally come off for me at some point in the next couple of calendar years. This will be so sweet when my low EO captain hits something really big. So
I mean, when you pick a differential captain, if you pick a differential captain and they haul, you're absolutely loving it. So if everyone's got Haaland and he blanks or something, and you've got a legend like Anthony Gordon as captain, like you love it. But when you've got a player that nobody else has and you captain him, that's the dream, isn't it, for you next week, right?
Yeah, I've never done anything like that before, but like I definitely didn't captain Richarlison 2 of the last 3 weeks. But
yeah, thinking about it, this is like typical you. There's a familiar pattern forming here.
I'm trying to captain the player that only I have on the game. So like it's weird.
We always have the same
because
player.
Doyle always has him. There's only 2 of us on the game who have the player, but we both do a YouTube video together. So it's like
it's actually probably quite bad because you're trying to catch me as well in the league, mate, and you're not going to catch me by captaining my players.
Yeah, and JB's the worst sufferer of this because he looks in our All In FPL league and he thinks, oh, Bruno scored. It's not gonna no one's got a hit, but then 67% of the league have got Bruno Fernandes, and he's just like, how's this happening? Yeah,
like normally I wouldn't give a shit if Bruno scores. I really don't care. No one owns him, but because we do this show and the All In league, there is a big part of me now that like is actually I was gutted when he scored that goal. I was absolutely gutted.
Well, why are you gutted for your pod partners? JB should be cheering us on.
No chance.
One of us has to break the 100k mark this year.
I'm happy to say I hope you both burn and foul. It's just the way it is. Don't tell me you two. You two seem to do the double show, just the 2 of you, when I have a bad week, and the amount of abuse I get over my team, I tell you.
You don't show it when you have a bad week. We're here, rain or sun, whatever the expression is.
Rain or shine?
Rain or shine, that's the one. We're here. We take it on the chin.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to be the top owned cap this week? Salah or Haaland?
Salah,
I think, yeah. Especially if I can't see them playing hard midweek anyway, because it's only against young boys. So I think
everyone's got Salah now as well. So the EO goes up quick, you know what I mean? When it starts at 100% base, it's like flies up, yeah. Before, it was always Haaland because everyone had him. So he started at 100 and Salah was on like 30. So it's like he could only get to 60, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah.
It's going to be a bit annoying when he assists Darwin 4 times. Like, we've been cheering, but, we'll lose a few of those points each time.
Yeah.
I won't be finding that. I won't find that annoying. It'll be all right. Wait, does Darwin score the goals that are being assisted, or are they just like good passes that get kicked into the stand?
We'll see.
How about Anthony Gordon as captain this week? Bournemouth, not a bad fixture.
I like Wilson. If anyone somehow can get to Callum Wilson, I think that's a great pick. Like when he plays, he scores in general.
And he went off early against Arsenal to preserve some minutes because they got Champions League football. But again, I suppose that he's going to play Champions League midweek. So again, they might take him off early or.
I've just ruined the next section.
Should I do Archer to Callum Wilson?
The punt of the week.
If you can do that, do it.
Well, I can't. But I mean,
there's no point in saying it, then, is there? Right. Anyway, I forgot. I'm thinking Josh is about to wrap up the show and tell everyone to
the new segment.
It is the one they've all been waiting for. What is it, Doyle? Tell us.
I don't know. It's your segment.
Okay. It is Punt of the Week.
Hey.
Whoa.
POTY.
I can't wait to hear the jingle.
POTW. Yes. So we all know FPL's boring as hell sometimes. Everyone says the same teams on Twitter. Boring. Why not go rogue? Sometimes you want to pick a differential. And sometimes the differential is not even that bad. It's just a player in form, a player low owned. Why not just have one player out of 11 that you can put in your team, and when that player is playing, it's almost like your captain's playing and nobody else owns him. Complete differential. Who can you pick? get a leg up on the field. We're going to say one player each week who you can select. Might only just be that they've got a couple of good fixtures and then you can transfer them out. I wouldn't necessarily go for a one game punt if they've got a good team, but why not? Maybe if it's Luton, go for it. If you've got 2 free transfers, you can afford to do it. So with that being said, who wants to go first to say their player?
Let's stick with the guy I just said.
Yeah,
That's
you can go Wilson.
Because
JB is going to go Eze.
No.
And then,
nobody's going to get my player. This is why this is a fun content.
Go on then. Reveal all.
Right, do you want me to say?
Yeah.
So the player I am selecting on the first ever punt of the week is Kudos. That's right.
I love it. I was trying to find a West Ham player. That's the one. That is the one, definitely.
Kudos. He's looked really, really good. He's broke into the team now, and he looks like he's keeping that place for the time being. Last 2 games, he's played full 90 minutes. Did you see the goal he scored? Absolute beauty. Got an assist as well. Looks really, really good from an attacking perspective. What is his ownership? I've got to believe it's got to be so low, surely.
It's low.
0.6. And he's only 6.5 million. Really, really good option, I think. Do you know their next fixture? They're at home to Nottingham Forest. Do you know the fixture after that? They're playing Burnley. The fixture after that, they're at home to Crystal Palace. After that, Spurs, forget about that. After that, Fulham. And then after that, home to Wolves. So really good fixture run as well. He's this year's Philip Billing. And that was the other reason about this segment. We've come up with some beauties in the past. We had Philip Billing before people even, was on to the Bournemouth heroics. We mentioned Mitoma before people even know who Mitoma was and who he played for. So we've got a good success rate with this as well. And these are also players, if you play like DFS, draft games, weekly punts, these are all good players for that as well, who you can pick up on and put into your team and maybe win some money. So, yeah.
Speaking of which, this segment is now sponsored by...
It feels like that's coming, doesn't it? It feels like we're getting paid for it because of the amount of enthusiasm we're putting into this.
We should be. Yeah, we should get DraftKings on board as an official sponsor.
Yeah, reach out.
Josh, what are your connections? Go on, who's your pick then, Josh?
You're not going to be on board with this, and it's okay. Like, it's all right. We all play our own. Pascal Gross is my pick. I think he's absolutely brilliant. He's an absolute Baps magnet. Their fixtures are unbelievable for the next 2. And then even after the Chelsea game, they got Brentford and Burnley at home back-to-back. Pascal Gross, he's going to play every game because they've got so many injuries. And he plays 90 minutes, which I absolutely love. One of my favourite boring players in the Premier League. I was going to say Ward-Prowse, by the way, but JB took Kudos, who is a massively better punt than James Ward-Prowse. So I'll say
Pedro still on pens as well? Or is that depends on if Pedro's on the pitch or when Pedro took it? Do we know?
So it's the same as the Saka one, mate. It's what side of the bed they've woke up that morning, you know what I mean? I think I don't like saying someone's on pens if it's like 50-50. Like, I think he's got a chance of being on pens, but
he's definitely taken some in the past when McAllister was there. I don't know whether McAllister was playing or not, but definitely Pedro took one earlier in the season.
He's not taken one against in 2 years, so.
He missed one against West Brom. I know that. That was in lockdown. That was great. They missed 2 penalties in the same game, and we won 1-0.
That's probably the last one he took, mate.
Yeah, they don't get many penalties, mate. I wouldn't worry about it.
It's moments like this where I really worry about like why I play like fantasy sport gambling games with Josh, like helping me pick players, because that is probably the worst pick I've ever heard in my life. Like, genuinely, it's just awful. What
the worst pick you've ever heard in your life?
I think it is. It's awful.
I mean, I was going to say Marcus Rashford, but it's just boring. I don't want to say that. It's pathetic. Like, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to be credited with that I'm not going to say Eddie Nketiah because half the game's already got him. I'm saying Pascal Gross because no one's got him and he's fun. He's a fun lad.
I don't think it's the worst. I don't feel as strongly against it as Doyle. But the only other thing is a lot of people got off Mitoma now, and I think you just go with Mitoma for 6.5 million when gross is 6.3. That's the issue, I think. And then if you want a cheap option, Adingra now, March is injured. Adingra's only 5. So he could be a bit of a cheaper
Adingra's
option.
rubbish, in fairness. He is absolutely rubbish.
Ansu Fati as well, 6.5 in midfield.
I was tempted.
Free
I was
start.
tempted with Fatty. I have to say, but I just know Gross is going to play, and that's half the battle a lot of the time. He's more nailed than Mitoma, to be honest. And obviously I can't say Mitoma because Mitoma's 37% owned. You know what I mean? Doesn't really fit the brief. So yeah,
Right, no, I'll allow it. And Sheffield United at home this week as well. So if we add up all the points this week of Kudos, Gross, and that, you've got a really good fixture there to try and outscore me and Doyle's boys.
Let's see you.
Can I change?
Yeah,
Wilson seems overpowered.
So yeah, when we're knocking out Kudos and Gross, and you're bringing out Callum, maybe the best.
Unfair. And I've got a midfielder as well, so it's all fair. It's all in the same price bracket.
Got it.
Okay. So 1L1.
The one I'm going to go for then is Jordan Ayew of Crystal Palace.
That was my other one. That's a good one. He plays 90. He's good. He's a good little grafter.
Yes.
Couple of good fixtures.
Little grafter. That sums him up perfectly.
Couple of good fixtures. Actually shoots. Yeah.
Kudos his international teammate as well, JB. Except they're from different countries. But other than that, they're like
okay.
Let's move swiftly on from that. I need to check this out because I think I've just done something very bad. Yeah, they were both in the World Cup.
They use Ghana, right? Kudos is Senegal.
No, Kudos is Ghana.
Right. Are you not Ghana?
They're international teammates. I was right. I was right. Back in the game, my segue was correct.
Wow.
I knew they were, and then I started doubting myself for being I'm not for being putting it all together. Not true. They're international teammates. They're from Ghana.
All in FPL. Why would you watch anything else, eh?
Whoa. What we could have done, you two could have had you and Kudos, and then I could have had Ghana from Everton, and then we'd have all had Ghana. It would have been triple up. So yeah, we'll think about that one for next week. We'll try and link them together. All right.
Where's Ghana Gay from? Do we know?
No, I meant Ghana, the white boy.
James Ghana.
James, yeah, sorry, I didn't know his name.
He's
a monster as well. Yeah.
Who is it? Idrissa Ghana Gay.
Yeah, he plays as well.
I thought he just said that because his name was Ghana, and it was just a play on his name, like Ghana, and then the other two are from Ghana. I thought that
was mate. You figured it out. That was what I did. Yeah, that was
not James Garner.
Yeah, I meant James Garner. That's what
right.
Garner.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, because James Garner definitely isn't Ghanaian.
Guys, please turn it off. Skip the outro.
I'm sure.
Can you actually, if you get to this point, can you please go back 2 minutes and then turn it off? So you sort of
we can edit. We can cut this out in the edit. But
move this to the front to the start of the podcast, JB.
I think this is the gold. This is the gold that the viewers like though. So
I think we turn off the rest. We just release this 5-minute segment.
Yeah. We're going to hit the big time now after this.
You managed to prop it off last week, didn't you, JB? When you just couldn't end the episode for some reason.
Well, if anyone was watching last week, I was holding our new puppy in one hand, and I was trying to hit the stop button on the record to stop the show. I couldn't reach it. So we just sat there in silence for an extra 30 seconds.
Your camera went off. It was hilarious. So you turned your camera off, but you couldn't get the episode.
The only button I could reach was to turn the laptop off. So I turned the whole thing off. Yeah, the power went completely.
And yet that was still better content than what we just produced in the past 2 minutes, literally. The Ghana triple up.
The Ghana triple up will go down in history.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Right. So YouTube, tell you where you can find us. That's all in FPL. Please subscribe to our channel. We've also got Twitter X. There's a slash in there. And then we're also all in FPL there. So please follow us there. And thank you for making it this far. If you have, I need to go home now. I'm still at work. I need to get on the tube or something and just calm down a little bit, I think. So I'll see you all in a bit. All right.
See you later, everyone. Have a good game week. Up the Ghana.
Okay, guys. Bye. He's done it again.
I've hit the wrong button again.
He's done the same thing.
I'm
Look at
not.
it. He's done this
You
on
have to
purpose,
leave.
Jamie. It's
You
so
have to leave.
stupid.
You have to leave that in the video, man. You have to.
I
That's
can't even use the
amazing.
puppy
That's the best
excuse.
ever.
What's
Right.
happened? Just end the recording.
Okay, I'm going. All right, up the Ghana, up the Ghana again, up the Ghana.